From inexplicable disappearances to chilling discoveries that defy explanation, these protected lands hold secrets that will haunt your imagination. Today we dive into disturbing things found in national parks. Prepare to see America's most cherished wild places in a whole new terrifying light. Our first entry takes us to the desolate wilderness of the San Bois Mountains in Oklahoma, a remote corner often frequented by hunters and hikers. On October 8, 2009, Bobby, Sherilyn, and their 6-year-old daughter Madison vanished without a trace, seemingly swallowed whole by the Oweechee National Forest. They were scouting a property for sale, a seemingly innocuous trip that turned into a waking nightmare. Their truck was found abandoned days later, locked with their dog starving inside. Their wallets, phones, and even Madison's purse was still in the vehicle. A chilling discovery inside the truck was a satanic Bible and a note hinting at a dispute. For 4 long years, the forest held its breath, offering no answers. Then in November 2013, 3 skeletons were found by hunters, just 3 miles from where the truck was abandoned. The remains were later identified as the Jamison family. The cause of death? Undetermined. No signs of trauma, no clear motive, just a haunting mystery forever etched into the landscape of the Oweechee. What happened to the Jamisons in those isolated woods? The silence of the forest offers no comfort. The Grand Canyon is a place of immense scale, but in 2011 a hiker found something that reduced that scale to a terrifyingly personal level. While trekking near the south rim, a visitor spotted a human hand resting on a rock ledge, completely detached from any body. This wasn't a historical artifact or a medical specimen, it was a fresh discovery. National Park Service investigators were absolutely baffled by this. Despite a massive search involving cadaver dogs and rappelling teams, no other remains were ever found. No torso, no skull, no identification. The hand was eventually linked through DNA to a man that had been reported missing months earlier, but how his hand ended up alone on a ledge miles from where he was last seen and with no signs of a struggle or a fall remains one of the canyon's most gruesome puzzles. Yosemite National Park, a symbol of American wilderness, usually evokes images of grandeur and awe, but in October 2016, a chilling discovery shattered that idyllic image. A human foot still encased in a hiking boot, found by a park visitor near a popular trail. The foot was found off-trail in a remote and kind of steep area, but investigators confirmed that it was human and believed to have been there for some time, possibly months or even years. Despite extensive searches, no other remains were ever located, and the identity of the individual remained a mystery. How did a single foot, still in its boot, end up in such an isolated location? Was it an accident, a tragic fall, or something far more sinister? The Badlands National Park in South Dakota is a land of dramatic, eroded buttes and pinnacles, a place of stark beauty and ancient history. But in 1999, it became the scene of a gruesome discovery that remains unsolved. A headless, handless, and footless body was found in a remote area of the park. The victim, a woman, was never identified. The dismemberment, clearly an attempt to hinder identification, pointed to a brutal and calculated crime. Despite extensive efforts by law enforcement, including DNA analysis and forensic reconstruction, the woman's identity and the circumstances around her death remain shrouded in mystery. Sedona, Arizona, renowned for its spiritual energy and breathtaking red rock landscapes, is also a hotbed for cryptid enthusiasts. While not a national park, it borders national forest land, and within its ancient canyons, disturbing reports of Bigfoot sightings and unearthly sounds have persisted for decades. Hikers and campers have described encountering large bipedal creatures, often accompanied by strong foul odors. More unsettling are the auditory experiences, strange howls and guttural roars, and even what sounds like large objects being thrown or trees being broken. These aren't just isolated incidents, reports are frequent and consistent, painting a picture of something powerful and elusive lurking in the shadowed canyons and dense pinyon juniper forests. Are these misidentifications, or is there a primal intelligence observing us from the wild edges of civilization? Yellowstone National Park, America's first national park, is a land of geothermal wonders. But within the historic walls of the Old Faithful Inn, it's not just the erupting hot springs that create a stir. Reports of paranormal activity have made it one of the most haunted locations in the national park system. Guests and staff have reported encounters with a spectral figure believed to be a former employee or even the hotel's original architect, Robert Reamer. Stories include unexplained footsteps in empty hallways, flickering lights, objects moving on their own, and the feeling of being watched. The most famous apparition is that of a woman in white, often seen gliding through the crow's nest area, which is an inaccessible part of the inn's attic. Is it the residual energy of lives lived and lost, or is it something more? While technically a national recreation area managed by the NPS, the Santa Monica Mountains hold a discovery that looks like a scene from a horror film. In 2016, hikers stumbled upon a meticulously constructed shrine hidden deep in the brush, complete with animal skulls, charred remains, and symbols associated with the occult. This wasn't just some teenagers playing a prank. The altar featured various animal carcasses that appeared to have been ritually sacrificed. Park rangers expressed concern not just over the illegal activity, but the potential for fire and the disturbing nature of the site. It served as a visceral reminder that for some, the deep woods aren't a place for hiking, but a sanctuary for practices that the modern world has long since tried to forget. The Great Basin National Park in Nevada is a place of ancient bristlecone pines and vast starry skies, but its history holds a dark secret, a period when indigenous people were disturbingly displayed, essentially creating a human zoo. In the early 20th century, particularly between 1900 and 1930, practices considered abhorrent today were not uncommon. Paiute and other Native American individuals were sometimes coerced or even abducted and placed in ethnological exhibits or living museums within the national park or nearby areas, including those in the Great Basin region. These displays were presented as educational, but in reality, they dehumanized indigenous people, reducing them to curiosities for the entertainment of white audiences. Yosemite National Park, despite its postcard beauty, has not been immune to brutal acts of violence. In 1984, the park was shaken by a heinous crime, the axe of two women in the remote wilderness. On March 21, 1984, friends Carol Sun and Joy Armstrong, both 16, were camping in a secluded area of the park when they were brutally attacked with an axe. The discovery of their bodies sent shockwaves through the usually tranquil park community. The investigation was extensive, leading to the eventual arrest and conviction of a transient drifter named Carrie Dean Moore. Our final disturbing entry takes us to the remote and rugged Big Bend National Park in Texas, a vast expanse of desert, mountains, and the Rio Grande. For over a century, this isolated region has been home to the mysterious Marfa Lights, but within the park itself, unexplained phenomena has also been reported. Beyond the famous Marfa Lights, which are typically seen outside of the park, visitors deep within Big Bend have described encountering strange, unexplained lights and aerial phenomena. These aren't just distant glows. Some reports detail lights that move erratically, change color, or even appear to interact with the landscape, defying conventional explanation. In such a vast and sparsely populated area, the darkness amplifies every anomaly. Are these atmospheric conditions, secret government tests, or something far more unusual? The silent, ancient landscape of Big Bend holds its secrets close, occasionally offering a glimpse of the truly inexplicable. So there you have it, folks. From the terrifying silence of unsolved disappearances to the chilling whispers of the paranormal, national parks, these bastions of natural beauty, reveal a darker side. They are vast, untamed places where the line between civilization and wilderness blurs, and sometimes where true nightmares take hold. So next time you venture into the heart of America's wilderness, remember these stories. Remember that beyond the stunning vistas lies a world of mystery and sometimes a darkness that defies explanation. Sleep tight and don't let the Bigfoot bite.